In 2012, a research vessel embarked on an unusual journey to investigate a mysterious island in the South Pacific, which had appeared on maps for over a century. Known as Sandy Island, this landmass had been marked on nautical charts and even Google Maps. But when the ship reached its coordinates, there was nothing but the endless, empty ocean. The mystery deepens as the crew discovers that the island never existed. This is the story of a phantom island, one that baffled explorers, cartographers, and adventurers for over 100 years. For over a century, Sandy Island was marked on maps as a sizable landmass in the South Pacific. It was first recorded in 1776 by Captain James Cook and later appeared on British and French nautical charts. By the 19th century, whalers had even begun to report sightings of sandy islets in the area. But the mystery started to grow when navigators couldn't find the island on later voyages. Sandy Island became a known feature of the Coral Sea, yet its very existence was questioned by some explorers. Despite contradictory reports, the island remained on official charts for generations. This block uncovers the evolution of Sandy Island's presence on maps and the growing doubts surrounding it. But as the search continued, the mystery deepened. What caused this error to persist for so long? The myth of Sandy Island continued into the 20th century, despite doubts raised by sailors and cartographers. Even as advances in mapping technology began to challenge old charting methods, Sandy Island remained on official maps. By the mid-20th century, some maps even marked the island as doubtful, yet it stubbornly persisted on digital and paper maps alike. In this block, we explore the lingering legacy of Sandy Island's phantom presence, the widespread belief in its existence, and the eventual realization that it never existed. The story of Sandy Island serves as a fascinating example of how myths can be preserved by the power of tradition and repetition. The digital age brought new tools, but even then, Sandy Island remained elusive. As the 20th century progressed, Sandy Island's place on maps continued to raise questions, yet its presence persisted. Early survey expeditions failed to find it, but the island's shape remained on the charts. Some maps even marked Sandy Island as doubtful, acknowledging the mystery but still leaving it there. This block delves into the complexities of mapmaking, where even modern tools sometimes failed to clear up the confusion. The story of Sandy Island highlights how errors can be perpetuated through tradition and the authority of printed maps. Despite the doubt that surrounded it, Sandy Island remained a fixture on maps for more than a century. We explore the conflicting signals sent by technology, cartographers, and explorers in the quest to uncover the truth behind the phantom island. In the digital age, even more tools were brought to the table, but the mystery wasn't over yet. By the 1970s, advances in surveying technology and satellite imagery had drastically improved the accuracy of maps. Yet, surprisingly, Sandy Island remained on many official charts. This block explores how, despite new technologies that could have corrected the cartographic error, Sandy Island was still included in some maps and digital systems, even into the 21st century. The island's stubborn presence persisted due to outdated data, and it wasn't until more thorough investigations were conducted that the truth became clear. The false island remained on early digital maps, including Google Earth, where it was erroneously displayed as a black polygon covering the ocean. This episode is a fascinating example of how information can get trapped in the digital age, still affecting modern tools, despite the obvious lack of evidence. But in 2000, a small group of radio operators uncovered a crucial truth that would bring the mystery to an end. In 2000, a group of amateur radio operators set out to explore the Chesterfield Islands. Along the way, they decided to investigate Sandy Island's coordinates. Upon arriving, they found only open ocean, where the island was supposed to be. The operators quickly realized that Sandy Island had never existed. Their discovery was quietly reported to a senior cartographer at National Geographic, who admitted that the island's presence on their maps was based on outdated information. Though the truth was out, the world was largely unaware until 2012, when a more public expedition would finally put the mystery to rest. This block recounts the quiet undiscovery of Sandy Island, and how it remained unnoticed by most, even in the digital age. Despite the evidence, Sandy Island's mark on maps and in our minds persisted. But in 2012, the truth was finally confirmed, and a high-profile investigation would bring the mystery to its dramatic conclusion. In 2012, a team of Australian geologists aboard the research vessel Southern Surveyor embarked on a high-profile mission to investigate Sandy Island once and for all. Equipped with modern satellite data and cutting-edge mapping technology, they set sail toward the coordinates where the island had once been marked on the maps. The crew was skeptical, but hopeful that they would either confirm or disprove its existence. As the ship neared the coordinates, the excitement grew. Was it a ghost island, or had it been overlooked by generations of explorers? What they found would provide the final answer. This block delves into the scientific journey that would prove once and for all that Sandy Island was just a cartographic error and never existed in the first place. The moment had arrived, but the discovery would be as surprising as it was conclusive. As the Southern surveyor reached the coordinates, the mystery of Sandy Island was finally resolved. There was no island, no landmass, no sign of the Phantom Isle, just the endless deep blue ocean. The crew's depth readings confirmed that the ocean floor was over 1,300 meters below them. Sandy Island was not just uncharted, it never existed. What had been marked on maps for over 130 years was proven to be a cartographic illusion. The crew members shared in the excitement and disbelief, and for a brief moment, they even had a good giggle at Google for displaying land where there was none. This block recounts the dramatic moment when Sandy Island, once accepted as a real place, was officially erased from the map. The scientists had uncovered a century-old mistake, and the world would soon know the truth. But the tale of Sandy Island is not unique. Other Phantom Islands have been erased from maps throughout history. Sandy Island's story is not unique. Throughout history, numerous Phantom Islands have appeared on maps, only to later be debunked. These imaginary lands were often the result of errors in navigation or misinterpretations of natural phenomena, like reefs, mirages, or floating objects. Some of these Phantom Islands, such as the mythical Mountains of Kong in West Africa, persisted on maps for over a century before they were exposed as fabrications. In the Pacific, Captain Benjamin Morrell famously invented islands that would appear on maps, leading to warped navigation routes. This block delves into the history of Phantom Islands, highlighting how cartographers sometimes allowed myths to become official and how Sandy Island fits into this tradition of geographical mistakes. Sandy Island's story is now part of history, but what lessons can we take from it? When the undiscovery of Sandy Island became public, it sparked worldwide attention. For over a century, the island had been included in official maps, atlases, and even digital platforms like Google Maps, but it was now revealed to be an error. The revelation captured global fascination as people realized how easily such a mistake could persist for so long. News outlets covered the story with dramatic headlines and articles about the Phantom Island's surprising disappearance. Google quickly issued a statement removing the island from its mapping systems, and National Geographic confirmed its removal from their databases. The story of Sandy Island became an example of how even in the digital age, maps can be inaccurate. This block explores how the world responded to the truth about Sandy Island and the broader implications for map accuracy in the modern world. With Sandy Island officially erased from the world's maps, what lessons can we learn from this cartographic error? Sandy Island's disappearance serves as a powerful reminder of how errors can persist in maps and digital systems, even in the 21st century. Its story highlights the importance of constantly questioning the information we receive, even when it comes from authoritative sources like maps and satellites. The legacy of Sandy Island goes beyond just a geographic mistake. It's a cautionary tale about the power of tradition and the importance of verification in the digital age. As National Geographic's geographer Juan Valdez noted, it's not often that an entire island must be removed from maps, and the process of correcting this error involved questioning deeply ingrained cartographic assumptions. In this block, we explore the broader implications of Sandy Island's removal and the lessons it teaches us about the ever-changing nature of knowledge and exploration. But even though Sandy Island is gone from maps, the mystery of cartographic errors still exists. Though Sandy Island was removed from maps, its story serves as a reminder that our understanding of the world is still evolving. The vastness of the oceans, the complexity of mapping, and the limitations of technology all contribute to the continued possibility of cartographic errors. In some ways, we may never truly know everything about the world's remote corners. As technology advances and new tools are developed, there will always be the need for critical thinking and verification. The saga of Sandy Island encourages modern explorers and mapmakers to stay vigilant and skeptical even when dealing with official high-tech sources. In this block, we discuss the continuing challenges of mapping the Earth and the importance of questioning what we see on maps. The story of Sandy Island has now become part of the lore of cartography, serving as a cautionary tale for future generations. The myth of Sandy Island has been laid to rest, but the lessons it teaches will continue to resonate for generations to come. Although Sandy Island was officially erased from the maps in 2012, its story underscores a deeper truth about the vast, mysterious nature of the oceans. Even in the digital age, there are still vast stretches of the ocean that remain unexplored and unmapped. As new technologies like deep-sea exploration and satellite imaging continue to evolve, we are beginning to discover just how much is still hidden beneath the waves. Sandy Island's tale reminds us that there is much left to uncover, and the mysteries of the deep may still be revealing themselves. This block explores the idea that while technology advances, the ocean's secrets remain largely unknown, with the potential for more phantom islands, hidden reefs, and unexplained phenomena waiting to be discovered or undiscovered. The mystery of Sandy Island may be solved, but what about the mysteries still awaiting us? For 136 years, Sandy Island drifted through our collective consciousness as a real place. It appeared on countless official charts, atlases, and globes, unquestioned, unchallenged, and utterly imaginary. The island's persistent presence is a testament to the power of maps and their ability to shape how we view the world. However, its eventual discovery as a myth also illustrates the limitations of maps, even in the digital age. The fact that Sandy Island existed in the minds of explorers, cartographers, and the public for over a century raises important questions about the accuracy and authority of the data we rely on today. This block explores how the story of Sandy Island became part of our collective history, and how its legacy challenges the way we think about cartography, geography, and the evolving nature of knowledge. The Phantom Island is gone, but the lessons it imparts will linger for generations to come. In the end, Sandy Island's disappearance was unlike that of any actual island. There was no eruption or sinking, nothing physical at all. What vanished was a cartographic mistake. A phantom blinked out of existence by human discovery. The island was unmade, not by nature, but by knowledge. One moment it lived on countless maps, the next it was gone. Geographers noted that Sandy Island hadn't really disappeared, it had never existed in the first place. The only thing that changed was our understanding. This block reflects on how Sandy Island was erased from history, not through natural processes, but by the power of human knowledge and technological advancement. The island's demise teaches us that even in an age of satellites and digital mapping, the truth can sometimes be elusive, and what we believe to be true can change in an instant. Sandy Island is no longer a part of the map, but its story will continue to echo through history. The story of Sandy Island ends not with a dramatic event, but with a simple, quiet erasure. What was once a tangible feature on maps, a place in the vast Pacific, ceased to exist, not by natural forces, but through human discovery and the power of knowledge. The island was never truly there. It was a mistake that persisted through generations, perpetuated by tradition and maps that were copied time and time again. The disappearance of Sandy Island serves as a reminder that our understanding of the world is constantly evolving, and even the most authoritative sources can be wrong. This final block reflects on the broader implications of Sandy Island's disappearance, the nature of mapmaking, and the lessons we can learn about the reliability of knowledge in the modern world. In the end, it was not a natural force that erased the island from existence, but our willingness to question, to learn, and to correct our mistakes.